First up, Commissioner Shea, Secretary, could you please do a roll call
Yes, happy to. Good evening, everybody. Commissioner McCarty,
here?
Commissioner Nigro,
Here.
Commissioner Garrett,
Present.
Commissioner Padro,
Present.
Commissioner Barry. I believe she'll be joining us. Commissioner Shea, I'm present.
Thank you. We have 5 out of 6 commissioners present. We do have a quorum, so we will continue conducting our business this evening. First on the agenda is our consent agenda. That includes approval of the agenda as well as approval of our June meeting minutes and our June treasurer report. I am going to show you the July report retroactive. So here's where we are. Only one expense since our last meeting, which was payment for Karen Yaley, our reporting secretary.
And let me just point this out. We're not allowed, we have a ton of money going back and forth, but she has yet to cash that. So what's right in the account right now is $21,618.97. So I'm going to ding her tomorrow to say, don't forget to cash check.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner Nigro.
Mhm.
Are there any additions or other things that folks need to add to this agenda?
Yes, I would like to make a motion to amend the agenda to add resolution in support of naming of Harmony Park of the 400 block of Florida Avenue Northwest. Would like to add that to the agenda.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Potter seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That passes unanimously.
Excellent.
Commissioner Negro?
So I move that we add to, so we have to approve the corrected quarterly financial report for FY25 quarter one, Q1.
Okay, and you're going to present that later in the meeting?
Or we could do it now, or we could do it whenever. I don't care.
Okay, let's hold that to the end of the meeting.
Okay, that's fine.
Do I have a second?
Seconded.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That motion passes unanimously. And so with those additions to the agenda, could I get a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented now?
So moved.
Thank
Seconded.
you. Seconded by Commissioner Shea. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor respond by saying aye, raising your hand.
Aye.
That motion passes unanimously. Thank you, everybody. First up is our community forum, and we will go ahead and welcome our officers from the Metropolitan Police Department. Please raise your hand on the other line, and we will pull you over.
We're running early. We have it
We're
as
running
6:45, so yeah.
I do see Sergeant James Hoover here, so let me go ahead and promote him to panelist, and we'll see if any other folks are going to trickle in. Okay, Sergeant Hoover, are you there? Or Hoover? Okay, while we figure that out, we're going to just keep moving forward with our other, actually, here we go. Hi, Sergeant, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you for being with us today. Could you please give us any updates on local crime stats in ANC 2G? And I know the other hot topic for the evening is just going to be if you have any updates on the fatal triple shooting at 7th and M Street on June 30th.
All right. So I don't I wasn't exactly I was kind of given this at the last minute, so bear with me. At the as far as the crime for your specific area, seems like from the past 30 days, the robberies are a little bit up, 14%. Um, but I might have the wrong area, part of 30, more in the Truxton Circle and Bloomingdale area. Um, ADWs are down 80%. Um, burglaries are down 80%. And I have the violent crimes that are down 21% in the area. But I apologize if part of the area is not the Shaw area because I didn't know that was. I thought I was more in the 308 area. Um, and as far as the homicide, there's no arrest as of yet. The detectives are still actively investigating the case. So I don't have really much to update you other than the detectives right now are actively investigating it, and there hasn't been an arrest yet.
Thank you, Sergeant. Commissioners, I will give the floor to any of you. If you have any specific questions for the sergeant, please raise your hand. And like the sergeant mentioned, he's not particularly focused on our entire area. So if you do have a question about a specific incident, share as much information as you can, including date and time. And if you have a CCN, that way it can help look it up. Commissioner Shea?
Thank you. Hi. My question is a little bit more general, and then just maybe to help kind of geolocate where we are. We are in between Florida Avenue, New Jersey Avenue, all the way down past the convention center where MLK Library is. And I'm actually not sure how north we are, but that's just to give you an idea. We've got the convention center, we've got like Dasha Beer Garden, Howard Theater, MLK Library, Petite Cerise. That's kind of where we are. My question for you is if you have any information about just kind of where we are with like drugs on the street. I feel like I've been hearing about more ODs happening. And my husband and I actually on Monday, we drove home and we had to give somebody Narcan before we were able to like unload our car from a trip that we were on. And I've just been hearing from other neighbors. So that's just more of like if you can provide information about in our area and like drug activity and stuff like that.
I don't have any specific stats as far as with the ODs, overdoses or anything, but I think what area that around like the convention center, Emma Street,
and 7th and T as well. You know, we got
yeah.
like 7th Street. Yeah.
Okay, so 7th and T I know is like has had a with drug usage problem. So I can't tell you like what like if what kind of increase there is or not. I don't have a stat for it. But what is more of your question as far as it?
I mean, I'm not asking for a stat. I just like, do we feel like we're getting a handle on things? Is there a noticing or recognition of the fact that there seems to be more ODs or less ODs happening? So I guess I'm more interested in trends and what's happening than actual stats.
Um, I don't know if we necessarily have more happening. I think that I mean, we do have a drug problem with some usage around the area, and we try to have officers looking out for it to try to address those areas. As far as 7th and T, we've had officers paying more attention to that area. I know of. Not entirely sure of because more of my areas are on the other side, but um, I know that M Street. O Street. Yeah, to answer your question, I don't know necessarily if there is a trend upwards of it. Um, but it is an issue that we are looking at right now.
Okay. So, and I know this is not you because it sounds like you've just found out about this meeting very recently, but if you could pass along to your colleagues that, we only get to have these meetings once a month, and it is very important to us to be able to have kind of informed and actionable conversations. So if you could just pass that along, and if we could try to make sure that our next meeting in September, that we're prepared for it so we can have this conversation. And then I am going to go on mute and allow, I think, probably Mr. Garrett to speak. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Shea. Commissioner Garrett.
Thank you for being here, Sergeant James. Similar kind of conversation, but I will say I think 7th and T has kind of calmed down for the last couple of weeks. Well, since more presidents have been at 7th and T, there hasn't been many issues, but the issues are kind of navigating to 7th and R. And I just wanted to bring, if you could pass on to the correct people, there is a property that's owned by Mid City at 8th and S, and that goes from 8th and S to 8th and R, is a gated community that is boarded up. I would like for some consistent presence going around there. I've been having emails from residents for the last several weeks regarding illegal drug use, illegal drug transactions, and possibly prostitution that's going on, trash and loitering. So if we could get some attention around that area. I do see a police officer at New Bethel Missionary Baptist Church, which is right there at that corner. But I don't know if they are able, or if they could get out and walk around that, right across the street around that block. That would be appreciated, because there's been a lot of activity that's going on that could cause future safety concerns for residents that are walking by and getting off the metro at Shaw Howard.
Okay, so you said 8th and S area?
Yeah, 8th and S to 8th and R, 8th and R.
Okay.
It's a gated apartment community that's boarded up, and it's owned by Mid City.
Okay.
Thank you.
Two notes to follow up on Commissioner Garrett's comments about the Mid-City property. Commissioner, I'll connect you with some representatives from Mid-City after the meeting, so you can raise those issues and they can be engaged to make sure that they get their security involved with that, dealing with that situation as well. And also for the sergeant, I just wanted to correct that Commissioner Shea misspoke when she was saying the MLK library. The Walter T. Daniel Library. The MLK library is not in our jurisdiction.
Sorry, and thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay. We'll also note for the record that Commissioner Barry joined us at 6:42 p.m. Thank you, Commissioner Barry. Are there any questions from the public for MPD? If you are on the other end, you're joining us from the community, please feel free to raise your hand and ask a question. We will pass the microphone to you. And looks like we don't have any, but Commissioner Nigro, any
I'm sorry,
words?
I forgot. How could I forget this? So, Sergeant, if you could put a word in, and I always advocate for this. Of course, we're talking about having a foot patrol, but specifically, I need some presence on the 600 block of L Street because of the car break-ins.
Okay.
It's all the time.
Thank you, Commissioner Nigro, and thank you, Sergeant. We will let you get back to duty. Thanks for being here and for stepping in to give us our updates tonight.
Stephen,
Okay.
apologies for the interruption. I just want to share a comment from, sorry, Mike, I don't have my glasses on, Gabriela Batista, and if I read that wrong, I'm sorry. The block of 8th between Q and Rhode Island is really bad with drug use right now. Just wanted to make sure that we shared that comment out. And thank you so much.
Wow.
Thank you, Commissioner Shea. Did you grab that, Sergeant?
Q in Rhode Island of what block?
8th Street Northwest.
8th Street. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Next up, we will pull over Taya Billa from the mayor's office. Hi, Ty. Thanks for being with us tonight.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I hope you all are holding up okay and this week has been kind to you. My name's Taya Billa. I'm the Ward 2 manager with the mayor's office, and I'm just going to read off a couple of notes that I have on my end. So the mayor did recently sign an expansion of the youth curfew, which is 11 p.m. across DC, and 8 p.m. in designated zones, which MPD can go ahead and declare. I'll provide the link to that information to learn more about that. But as of now, on the curfew for 17 and under is 11 p.m. We've recently had a storm. There's been a lot of heat waves in this neighborhood. So please make sure that you are signed up and follow Alert DC for all your weather updates, but then also crime related updates as well. I'll share that link. And please, if you're interested, join Octo. They're having a listening session where you can share your thoughts on AI's ability to improve the city services, support residents, and strengthen local government. There is a registration form which you can go ahead and fill out, and that session will take place on Tuesday, July 15th from 6 to 8 p.m. Again, I'll make sure that information is provided. And then also, we're calling all recent college graduates in DC to kickstart their career. Applications are now available. This is an opportunity for them to expand their network, to learn new skills, and to get hand-on experience in competitive fields. This is outside of 2G, but MLK Library is conducting weekly movie series every Tuesday. So please feel free to check out their website. And as mentioned, it's very hot, so please stay hydrated, avoid being outside for extended period of time. And for more information on how to beat the heat, you can go to ready.dc.gov. And for those that are excited to bring the commanders home to RFK, there will be a testifying event happening on Tuesday, July 29th, where you can sign up and make your voice heard. I know we talked about the ongoing drug activity, specifically along the 7th Street corridor. I believe all of you have been invited to attend the T Street Task Force meetings, which happen once a month. So I do encourage that. And then also, every month, our office will conduct a community walkthrough. So more than happy to have a community walkthrough set up at the end of this month to address some of those hot spots that were just recently mentioned, whether it be the 600 block of L Street between Road Q and Rhode Island. So we can set up a specific route and make sure that we have the appropriate agencies associated with those issues to come on out and we can address them head on. And I think that's all I have.
Thank you, Ty. First
Yes.
up, commissioner questions. So, Commissioner Nigro.
Hi, Ty. Quick question for you. So with the AI event, I'm all in, but is the event to announce things or to get ideas? What is the event for?
So my take is, or at least what I read, this is an opportunity for residents, community members to share their information, and to make their voices heard around how they believe AI can play a part in these factors. But then also Okta will be providing resource information around what DC government is currently doing around AI specifically.
Okay, very good. And there's a link or something? Or what
Yes,
do I do? Okay.
so I
I
wasn't
don't think I
able.
got an email about
Yes.
that.
I'll
All right.
make sure that information is sent out. I may have to
Okay.
send it via email because in the chat it's not allowing me to copy and paste, but nonetheless,
Okay.
I'll make sure the information gets to you.
All right. And so just I think we touched upon this before, but honestly, I just can't remember. So did the community office thing down in Chinatown, whatever that is, service center, is that still functioning?
Yes, it is. And so a slight change with our Chinatown hub. Instead of having mokers there, essentially we were there about once a week. We do have members throughout our team there Monday through Friday, but not just Ward 2, through it's mainly maybe wards 1 through 4. But again, this is an opportunity for residents just to come in person to speak with some of our representing agencies. So that could be members from our office, the Department of Behavioral Health. We have the Department of Human Services there. MPD is also there. Again, so an opportunity for real FaceTime with, the appropriate agency member, and they can address any concerns on the spot.
So do you have numbers to show how many people visit, right? Who does
Yes,
that?
yeah, we do
Okay.
track that
Could you
information.
send that to me?
I'll take note of that and I'll get that information from my team.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Yep.
Thank you, Commissioner Negro. Any other commissioners have questions for Ty with the mayor's office?
And thank you for adding my contact information in there, Commissioner Shea.
Uh, I will just say that I want to give a huge thank you to Ty in the mayor's office. We had a hate crime graffiti incident in Naylor Court and some very distraught neighbors who were trying to get that removed quickly. Of course, it was on a weekend, and DPW said, wait until next week. But it was something very, very egregious. I don't even want to say it on camera here, but Ty got it handled in less than 24 hours. And so we were very, very grateful for that. So I just want to say thank you for moving expeditiously there. We will
Seconded.
offer any public comment. If you have questions, comments, concerns you'd like to share with Ty and the mayor's office, please feel free to raise your hand. We will give you the microphone and give you the opportunity to speak or ask a question. Seeing no hands raised, thank you, Ty, for your time and your service. We will see you soon. Next, we'll pull over Councilmember Pinto's office. So I'm going to promote them to panelists right now. And the floor is yours.
Great. Hi, everybody. Can we hear me okay?
Yes,
Awesome. Am I able to share my screen?
you should be able to.
Okay. Is everybody seeing a PowerPoint?
Yes.
Perfect. All right. So, hi, everybody. If you remember me from last month, my name's Hannah. I'm a Constituent Services Coordinator for Councilmember Pinto, who has now been our Ward 2 council member for 5 years. She's very proud of everything that we've accomplished together and is very excited to keep working to help all DC residents prosper. Starting off with some budget updates. As you know, the council has been very busy. Tuesday, they held another budget work session, and the first FY26 budget vote is this coming Monday, July 14th, with a second vote on the 28th and a third on the 31st. The different committees have now all completed their budget reports as of a few weeks ago. If you've been following the news, you may have seen that the Judiciary Committee, which Councilmember Pinto chairs, proposed the long-awaited merger of the city's different violence interruption programs. Councilmember Pinto believes in violence interruption as a part of our public safety ecosystem and in the people doing the hard work to prevent shootings. There was considerable debate about where the merged program should live, and she reached an agreement with the mayor's office around training requirements, community engagement, data collection and reporting requirements, and oversight, and the program is now set to be in the Office of Neighborhood Safety and Engagement. I can post a link to that agreement also in the chat. We do expect the council to debate this more ahead of the budget vote. Some legislative updates. At the council's legislative meeting last week, they unanimously passed critical parts of Councilmember Pinto's PSDC plan, which streamlines educational credit requirements for the MPD to bolster recruiting and increase the number of officers on the force. It ensures that families of fire and EMS personnel who die due to a performance of duty injury or illness are eligible for full survivor's benefits, and closes the gap in the Second Chance Amendment Act of 2022 to ensure that individuals conceal their criminal records as the underlying legislation intended and truly get a second chance at housing, gainful employment, and other opportunities. Peace also continues the rebuttable presumption for pretrial detention when defendants are charged with certain dangerous crimes and crimes of violence through December 2026 and requires a report from the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council. Other parts of Peace have been transferred to different communities which have jurisdiction over those issues. And then Ty already mentioned the new youth curfew that was also passed at that meeting. Coming up, we have a few events. There's going to be office hours with Councilmember Pinto at Stead Park from 4:30 to 4 to 5:30 on Wednesday the 16th. And then on July 23rd from 4 to 5:30 at the Rose Park Farmers Market in Georgetown. Coming up in 2B, sorry, 2G, I believe Commissioner Garrett is hoping to join us on our tour of the LGBTQ Center next week in SMD 2G01, and ANC Shay for our Asbury Dwellings Coffee and Community event in her SMD. That is everything I have for right now. I will stop sharing my screen if there are any questions.
Thank you, Commissioner Nigro.
Hi there. So this is more of a comment than anything else, and I found it interesting. Everyone knows on this meeting I am a big social media person. And the horrible murder and the shootings that happened now 2 weeks or whatever, 10 days, whenever it was, that Monday, right? That was a Monday night that it happened. And why I was curious is that Councilmember Pinto's response was not until Thursday. And that's when it became national news. And I'll just leave it at that. Like, we've had people murdered repeatedly. I don't have to tell this crowd, right, throughout the commission. And I've never quite seen that type of response from her for when constituents are murdered. But here's a response from her days later when it's national news. And I'll leave it at that. I was very curious about that. And you can tell her that. So I would like her to, when people are hopefully not murdered or whatever, things happen in the area that are constituents, she needs to respond publicly and not save it for when this national news. But there you go. And the Safe Passage program, right? That's supposed to be drummed up. It exhausts us in our neighborhood due to the Dunbar, and I hope it goes well. But in the Dunbar area, it is a complete waste of money. So, what are the expectations for next fall? Because they do not move around enough. Should I have expectations or should I not have any expectations for next fall?
Yeah, so I know the part of Peace that deals with the Safe Passages program is working to standardize training and different techniques across the Safe Passages program, and in the hopes of improving effectiveness. That's always our goal, to make these programs as useful to the community
hopes.
as possible.
This is money. This is money. This is millions of dollars. And I have what I can see, people that don't want to go beyond the tent on N Street. So I hope that this money is now well spent.
I can definitely pass that along to the council member. I'm not sure about the specifics in the neighborhood that you're.
Well, it's a mess over. And I want it to work. I want it to work because it is a disaster. And I cannot have any expectations because it has not worked well for years.
No, I can definitely pass your.
I hope it works. I want it to work. We want it to work.
Thank you, Commissioner Nigro. Any other commissioners have a question for the council member's office? Commissioner Shea?
Hi, I'm not sure if this is something that you might have insight on, but I know that there was a rat academy that was going on yesterday and today, and I didn't know if you participated or if you had any. I was really sad. I went to sign up for it, and it was already at capacity a few weeks ago, but I didn't know if you had any insights or readouts from it that you could share.
Yes, so I did not attend, but Brian did from my office. So I'm sure he'd be happy to share anything that he has from that if you want to shoot me an email or shoot him an email.
Okay, I'll do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments, concerns to elevate from our commissioners? I will just say, if as the council debates the budget and plans for that, I just want to express my concern about lack of funding for ANC 2G in general. There's just not a lot of funding coming to our area, especially for public spaces. A lot is going to Chinatown for renewal and revitalization, and going to U Street. But our convention center neighborhood, we welcome hundreds of thousands of visitors a year. We still have urgent traffic safety issues in our neighborhood, and our parks have gone without funding for quite a long time. You'll even see on our agenda later tonight, we're discussing using our own funds to support a park, which is something most ANCs don't even have to debate. So if you could just really take that back and focus on some funding for our public spaces and public safety here in ANC2G, we would be greatly appreciative.
Yeah, I can absolutely pass that along.
Commissioner
And
Nigro, Commissioner Padre?
yeah, I was going to chime in to second that request. Carnegie Woodson Park is in disrepair. It has not had much needed maintenance since it was opened. So that's 10 years ago. The irrigation system appears to be in disrepair. The landscaping is in disrepair. So in general, parks in our jurisdiction are in need of TLC and funding.
Yes, thank you. Commissioner Nigro, final word?
Well, I will say it again, like I did last meeting, and I stand by my words. The government simply does not care about our area, period. The end. So no need to grieve about this, you guys, over and over again, because that's what it is.
Thank you, Commissioner Nigro. Now we will give the public an opportunity to weigh in. If you're on the other side and you would like to share anything, question, comment for the council member's office, please raise your hand and we will give you permission to speak. Doesn't look like anyone has anything else for the council member's office. So thank you for being with us tonight and we'll see you again soon.
Yeah, nice to see everybody.
Next, we will pull over the Walter A. Washington events DC, Solana Vandernat to share about what's going on at the convention center.
Awesome. Well, good evening, everybody. My name is Lana Vandernet. I'm the Senior Manager of Community Engagement for the Walter E. Washington Convention Center. I'm happy to serve as a connection point between you and Events DC. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. I'll include my contact information in the chat. As a reminder, to learn more about Events DC, our programs, initiatives, and other opportunities, visit eventsdc.com. If you have not already done so, please sign up for our electronic mailing list and follow us on our social media platforms. I'll put this information in the chat as well. Regarding the July event calendar for the remainder of this month, we have 5 upcoming events at the Convention Center, 2 single days and 3 multi-days. Highlighting some of the events that are here and that will be here soon at the Convention Center since this Tuesday, July 8th till Sunday, July 13th. The Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated 57th National Convention is with us with an estimated attendance of 20,000. Then next Friday, July 18th through Tuesday, July 22nd, the American Veterinarian Medical Association Congress will be held at the Convention Center with an estimated attendance of 10,500. Also, regarding another convention center update, the Starbucks located in the South Building near the L Street entrance is now open to the public as of July 1st. It features an exterior entrance accessible from the south side of L Street. Standard hours of operation are Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., with extended hours based on in-house events. Regarding our community grant program for fiscal year 2026, cycle 1, applications are open. Virtual grant informational sessions are held every Tuesday in July at 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock p.m. Registration is required. The application deadline is August 1st. To learn more and to register for these info sessions, please visit our community grants webpage, eventsdc.com/community/community-grants. Regarding upcoming events, we are offering another free public Art at the Center tour at the Convention Center on Tuesday, August 5th. This curator-led hour-long tour of select artworks is free, but advanced registration is required and space is limited. So if you're interested, please sign up at eventsdc.com/community-art-collection. And I'll put all these web pages in the group chat as well. And finally, I'm excited to announce that our summer movie series is back at the Carnegie Library lawn on Wednesday, August 13th. This year, this free event will feature Mufasa, the Lion King, with movie snacks, light fare, fun activities, a DJ, and community resources. Attendees are encouraged to bring a lawn blanket or chair, and all food and giveaways are on a first come, first served basis. And I'll include this registration link in the group chat as well. And we look forward to seeing you there. Thank you for letting me join this call. Please let me know if you have any questions.
Thank you, Solana. Commissioners, any questions for Events DC, Walter E. Washington Convention Center? Seeing none, any members of the public, if you have any questions for the Convention Center, please feel free to raise your hand so we can permit you to speak. No questions. Well, thank you so much, Solana. We appreciate you being here, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Next up on our agenda are just any updates from advisory neighborhood commissioners. If anybody has anything they'd like to share for the good of the public, please raise your hand and we will get you in the queue. Commissioner Padro, you were first.
Thank you. I just wanted to let the community know and mark your calendars, September the 13th, 7 a.m. until 3 a.m. on the 14th, Art All Night. Shaw returns, Washington, D.C.'s original overnight arts festival, which started in 2011 here in the neighborhood, will once again be presented in multiple venues throughout the neighborhood, but especially a large activation that will be taking place along K Street and down through Anthem Row in partnership with between Shaw Main Streets, Events DC, and the downtown DC Business Improvement District. You'll be able to get more information about the event as plans are finalized at artallnightdcshaw.com. Thanks.
Thank you, Commissioner Padro. Commissioner Shea.
Thank you. And Commissioner Padro, I just dropped the Shaw Art All Night link into the chat for folks. I just wanted to share that we're looking to reinvigorate the, sorry, I want to read it to make the Transportation Advisory and Public Space Committee. And so if anybody is interested in being a part of that committee, if you could please reach out to me or one of the commissioners, and it's something that we'll discuss in the September meeting.
Thank you, Commissioner Shea. Any other
Thank you.
commissioners? I have two quick announcements. One is that we're hosting a community cleanup in ANC 2G04 this Saturday, July 12th from 10 a.m. to noon. We'll do our few blocks of the neighborhood, including Blagden Alley and Naylor Court, and we'll meet outside La Colombe at 10 a.m. All supplies needed, family friendly and fun. So please come out and help us clean up the neighborhood. And then last but not least, our local neighborhood nonprofit, Alley Living Together, is hosting their second annual Alley Fest on Saturday, July 26th from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. They have connected with a bunch of local businesses in Blagden Alley like Calico, Tiger Fork, Causa, and Lost and Found, as well as a few others. Who are going to be doing drink specials, bringing music, live entertainment, and a bunch of fun stuff for the kids, including the DC Library truck and Salem Baptist Praise in the City event. So lots of stuff will be happening in Blagden Alley, Naylor Court that day, open to the public, and they want to invite everybody to attend and celebrate with them. Are there any other updates or announcements from commissioners, or if you are a member of the public, you represent an organization or a local nonprofit, you have anything you want to share, please feel free to raise your hand. Seeing none, we will go ahead and move on to the official business portion of our agenda. First up is the license, a new Class C tavern license for EBs that is located in ANC SMD 2G01. Commissioner Garrett, I'm going to let you, if you've got any representation here or anything you'd like to share about the placard, the floor is yours.
Yes, is Emily Brown is on the line. Emily, do you want to say a couple things, or we can just get straight to it if you don't have anything to say you want to present to the community?
Hi. Hey guys.
Hi.
Thanks for having me.
Did you want to say anything or present the restaurant to the community? Nothing
Yeah,
long.
great.
Doesn't have to be
I'm in the
long.
restaurant right now. Set some art on the wall that's not hung up, but things are looking pretty good. Exposed brick and everything. If there's anything anybody wants to see, let me know. I passed my certificate of occupancy today. I was so excited. And the inspector, normally they're not so friendly. She said, I feel like this is a dream come true happening in the making because everything here is so personal. And I said, actually, my LLC is called Dream Come True. And then I started crying. She passed me. So I'm very excited. I can't wait to be in this neighborhood. I think this block is beautiful. I hope this becomes a place that people gather around the holidays or when they've had a bad day or had a good day. I hope it's kind of like Cheers, but a notch up in quality, honestly. So can't wait to meet everybody. And if you have any questions for me, don't hesitate to ask.
Thank you, Emily. I will follow that with Emily. I've been working with Emily for the past several months, getting as she's worked to get this dream come true to come online. She's went through a lot of hurdles, met a lot of residents, and is a huge advocate of making sure that residents feel at home and have input in what she wants to make a reality. She did agree to a settlement agreement that we have agreed upon. And I am excited for this opportunity for our neighborhood, especially for a restaurant to open up late night that we don't have around here. So it gives residents an opportunity to have something to eat late night that many residents are really excited about. And I just want to commend Emily, as this is the first time I've done a settlement agreement and worked with a restaurant to do this. She was very gracious, understanding, and doing whatever is necessary and listen to concerns, whether it was trash, noise, whatever the case may be. She was very easy to work with. So if there are no questions, I would like to make the motion and also want to mention that the Alcohol and Beverage Committee did unanimously support the approval of this license as well. Are there any questions for Emily or myself?
I
Uh,
see someone asking where the location is. It's technically in the lease, it's 1846 Street Northwest, but I also pay a power bill for 600 Florida. It's right on the corner. It's across from Shaw's Tavern, and it used to be Bistro Bohème and also Quattro Osteria, if that helps.
thank you. Uh, Commissioner Garrett, I believe I saw something in the committee report that also mentioned a stipulated license. Are you making a motion for just the approval of the settlement agreement and support of the Class C tavern license, or was there a request for a stipulated license in there as well?
I don't think, Emily, we didn't have a stipulated license, did we?
They voted on that last night, and
Okay,
they
okay. I
said
wasn't in the
yeah.
meeting last night, so I missed that. Okay.
Mhm. That would be
Commissioner
great, just
Padro,
in
do you have
case.
any info on that?
So yes, I was the one that raised the issue of the meeting because Ms. Brown indicated that she was almost ready to open. As she indicated, she's just gotten her certificate of occupancy, and in order to be able to get her license as quickly as possible to be able to open, and the possibility of delays related to the ABC board's meeting, we did recommend and support that the commission support a stipulated license for this establishment.
Okay.
Thank you.
Do you want me to go ahead and make the motion or Commissioner Padro make the motion?
Commissioner Garrett, feel free.
Okay. I would like to make a motion for 2G to support the stipulated license for EB's at 1846 Street Northwest in support of their stipulated license to move forward. And I request the support of the commission to support this request for an approval of the license.
Seconded.
The motion has been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye and raising your hand.
Aye.
Aye. That
Thank
motion
you.
passes unanimously.
Thank you, Emily.
Now, did you want to make a separate motion to support the settlement agreement?
Okay. Yes, I'll make a second motion to for the two ANC 2G to accept the settlement agreement that has been drafted by EBs and Commission 2G at 1846th Street Northwest. I ask that the commission accept the settlement agreement that has been agreed upon by both parties.
Friendly amendment to also support the application for the permanent license for the establishment and communicate the support to APCA.
Do you
Accepted.
accept? Thank you. Uh,
Second motion.
Seconded by Commissioner Padro. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye, raising your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Emily, and
Thank you, Emily.
congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Have a good evening. Thank you.
You too.
Next up, we have historic preservation review for 1000 S Street Northwest. This is also an ANC 2G01. This topic is not new to the commission. A few months ago in the spring, the commission did hear this case in a different light about the matter of raising the property. The commission did not actually support the raising of the property, but HPRB did support the raising of the property and gave the owner a permit to do so. So the owner is in the process of designing the new concept for the building. The building has not yet been raised. And I know that the Zoning, Planning, and Historic Preservation Committee has engaged a lot of folks on this, as well as Commissioner Garrett. So I do want to actually bring over a few folks. I know we have Chair Goldberg here, who has been working to find a lot of answers about this application with the Office of Planning and with the Office of Zoning. But if you are here for the property, also please raise your hand. I believe maybe Tanika, are you with? Thank you. So let me go ahead and I'm going to move everybody over. Please, as a friendly reminder, stay on mute until you're called upon to speak. And you'll need to accept an invitation to join as panelist. So Chair Goldberg, could you just share a readout of where we're at with this project from your work with the committee and the committee's recommendations to the commission before we turn it over to the applicants to share more about their plans? Up, you're on mute.
Thank you. Sorry about that, Commissioner Chair McCarty. So we, as the committee, were able to meet on Tuesday this past week with the applicant, along with residents that were able to join the call. We did have a lot of collaborative email conversation, as well as documented statements from residents for both support and concern for the property. Throughout this process, we had a meeting in May of 2025 to discuss this property. We were told that we had to put this on hold because they had not originated, they had not originated their conversations yet with HPO. So at that point, we requested that the applicant go back to HPO to start that process. They had done so. And we moved up the committee meeting in hopes that the applicant would be ready for the July 20, I believe it was the 26th meeting for the HPRB review. We were notified that the applicant was not ready for that HPRB review, and the review has now been moved to September since that committee does not meet until, they actually don't meet in August. So ultimately, what we decided to do in the committee meeting was to make it more of a collaborative discussion where the architect and the applicant were able to present the plan for 1000 S Street Northwest of the new structure. Obviously, bringing into the attention that there is a separate component to this that's the raise, and HPRB is looking at it as two different projects. Ultimately, we took feedback from the committee as well as feedback from the community. We read all of the statements out loud that were written in that where community members could not join. And we ultimately made a motion to document community and committee feedback on the project as it relates to massing, historic preservation, lot occupancy, total bedroom count at 12 and 14 bedrooms total, concern for safety of the current approved rate structure, and that the committee recommends to the full ANC that a letter of concern is sent to HPO and the board of the Department of Building as it relates to this project. Next steps from what we understood, and I believe Tanika will be able to talk to their meeting they had today with HPO. Ultimately, the next step is they're engaging with them. And then if everything works out well, they will be able to be on the September calendar meeting for HPRB for this project. So that's where the committee stands at this point. And that is the recommendation of the committee for the full ANC.
Thank you, Robert. Tanika, would you like to share where you are with the plans? Maybe give the commissioners who weren't at the committee meeting some more background. And then if you have any updates from your meeting with HPO, we'd love to hear those as well.
Sure. So we did have a meeting with HPO yesterday, the owner and I, and we reviewed the current design for the project. It was very productive because we received a lot of feedback from them on some changes that they would like to see for us to implement into the design. So we are currently working with them now in order to be able to implement those changes. And it's going to be a collaborative type of thing with HPO where we will update the design, meet with them, they'll review it, offer more feedback, and then get back to us. So we are in the process of working with them. And then once we have a design that they approve of, then we will be ready to come back before the ANC to present what we have come up with, hopefully for your approval as well.
Awesome. Thank you. So I'm going to go out on a limb, and it sounds like we don't have anything to vote on tonight, but I do want to make sure commissioners, this has a lot of moving pieces. So if you have questions, please raise your hand. Commissioner Nigro.
So yes, I remember this was the demolition by neglect case. This is unfortunate that they voted the way they did, but nonetheless, there it is. But so what is happening tonight? Nothing, right? There's nothing for us to see.
That's correct. For now, we are working with HPO to be able to update the design, and then it's a collaborative effort. So once we have things worked out with HPO, then we would be ready to present before you.
So why are you here tonight?
Oh, we were just here just based off the meeting we had on Tuesday. That's all.
But how was our meeting if there was nothing for them to see?
Oh, no, would you like me to present? I'm sorry. Would you like me to review?
Wait,
Well, they're gonna have to update the
what is happening here?
That's thank you, everybody. So if the designs are gonna have to be updated, we don't need to see them, but thank you for offering. If there is nothing to vote on, then I'm just going to continue on with our agenda, and I do want to thank you all for your time.
Wait.
So,
yeah,
Chair, hand is up.
Yeah. Commissioner Padra, sorry.
Yeah, so I do believe that we do have a request or a recommendation from the committee, and that was to consolidate the feedback from the community and transmit that to HPO. I think it would be helpful to Historic Preservation Office staff to have the input that has been gathered so far as they continue to work with the applicant. So I think that we owe it to the committee to act on their recommendation.
Thank you. Would you like to make a motion and that effect, Commissioner Padra?
What's the feedback? What are we voting on?
We want to go back to Robert. Robert can.
Yeah, absolutely. So what we motioned was that we need to document community and committee feedback on the project as it relates to massing, historic preservation, lot occupancy, total bedroom count. I'll give more context. I want to just read this first, and I'll give more. At 12 and 14 bedrooms, concern for safety of the current approved raised structure, and that the committee recommends to the full ANC that a letter of concern is sent to HPO and the Department of Building. So the biggest concerns here, Commissioner Nigro, are that ultimately these were in the eyes of HPO, these are two separate projects, one the raise and then one the new structure. The current occupied floor footprint of the existing structure occupies over 80% of the square footage of the lot. And the new structure is what has been presented is that the new structure would occupy the same amount of square footage. However, the massing of the structure goes to 4 stories with the cellar. So ultimately, there is also concern from the abutting neighbors in regards to what has been presented in the floor plans, that each unit is 6 bedrooms with a very small common space, and that there is concern that this would be used as a rooming house. So all of those concerns need to be documented so that ultimately HPO is able to have all that information, so that ultimately they're able to work with the applicant ahead of coming back to the ANC for more questions and comments. So all of that feedback is actually taken into account through their process.
So we're voting on what, though? That we agree with the feedback? I don't understand what we're voting on.
To transmit the feedback to both the board of the Department of Buildings as well as HPO.
Why are we voting on that? Why don't they just give the feedback?
But we're asking to provide a letter of concern with the feedback from the committee in it. That's what we're putting
correct, because it's coming from the full ANC.
Okay.
But I haven't seen anything. I don't.
It was in the committee report. I can pull that up if you'd like, Commissioner. So I'm not going to read all of this.
No, I can read it.
But
and so we're voting on this right here, this feedback. That's it. That it's okay, or what?
And to transmit the letters and the commentary from the individual participants that spoke and or wrote letters of concern and or support.
But we haven't seen those letters.
They were in the attached. They were in
they're in the attachment. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why we have to vote on this.
Because we're transmitting it to the two agencies, in a formal manner.
But it's not our opinion. It's someone else's opinion.
It's the opinion of your committee. So the committee.
Yeah,
the committee is not the ANC.
So we're adopting. If we do vote to submit this, then we are adopting the recommendations of the committee.
Okay, I don't know. Or maybe it's just me tonight.
So just for context, this is how we did this in ANC 2F. As it related to what was called the Community Development Committee, which is obviously the same thing as this committee, where we would present this to the full ANC for their ratification and ultimate vote.
Thank you, Chair Goldberg. Do I have a motion to support the committee findings and transmit those to the Department of Buildings and HPO?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion on the committee's concerns or us sharing those concerns, transmitting those to those agencies? Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor of transmitting these concerns to the Department of Buildings and HPO, raise your hand and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Abstention, Commissioner Nigro?
I'm abstaining. Yep.
Okay, thank you. So the motion passes with 5 ayes and 1 abstention. Thank you all at 1000 S Street. We look forward to seeing you again in September, and please don't hesitate to reach out if you need any of our support or collaboration as we engage with HPO in your designing. Next up, we're going to have an update from 501 New York Avenue. This is a public space request for some curb cut modifications
And a fence.
a fence. Somebody chatted, sorry, Des Green.
Yeah, Des
Okay.
is here, and John Stokes sent me a text that there's some other. So whoever else,
Yeah,
I
if you're
think, is there a
here,
group?
I see some DGS.
Yeah, they must be in a room, or
Okay.
whoever that is.
We're going to bring you all over, so please let us promote you to panelists. Okay, so we have quite a few folks here from DGS. You're all promoted as panelists. There are, like I mentioned, this is a request for modifying some curb cuts and installing a fence. I'm going to let you all begin.
Can I tee it up, Stephen?
Yes, Commissioner Nigra, go ahead.
So I'm not going to go down the JL 501 rabbit hole, but just to say this is a public space application for the two modifications, the curb cuts, one being on New York Avenue and one being on L Street, and then the surrounding fence. So I invited DGS to explain this, and then I'll talk after they talk, and then just to let people know I've also been in communication with DDOT about this. So. And I don't know who's also, if any, so I see Des. If y'all want to turn, I don't know who else all these numbers are here. Who else is here with us? If you could identify
RJ
yourself.
Hargrove from BGS is here.
Who? Oh, hey, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Do you miss me? No. Who else? And who else? And there's the other number down here. Who's that?
It may be Peter, or who's our architect, or
Oh,
Dana.
Peter. Oh, yes, I know Peter. Hi, Peter. Okay, so we have, okay, all right. I don't know who wants to present, or there's really only a couple relevant drawings. So we don't need to go through some of them aren't.
Yeah, it's not a big presentation. Peter, if Peter can get control so he can share his screen. I mean, not Peter, Dana. Sorry.
Yeah. And Dana, who are you? I don't know you. You're one of the.
Hi, Commissioner Nigro. I'm Dana Forster. I'm with DLR Group Architects.
Oh.
Can you guys see my screen?
So Commissioner Nigro already kind of set us up here. We're here to talk about the public space application, the two curb cuts on L and on New York, and the fencing around the facility that is required. So I'm going to allow the design team to go ahead and present and be prepared to answer any questions.
Good. Thank you, Des. So yes, Commissioner Nigro, as you suggested, we just have a couple of drawings here that we can go through, including this is our agenda: existing conditions, our site demolition plan, the proposed new site plan, and then we can open it up for questions. So kind of go through this here. There's just the aerial of the existing site, showing our building here, L Street, New York Avenue, the Sally Port, and then the parking that's on site. This is the survey that's kind of overlaid on the site, showing the relationship of the property line in red here. There are also underground utilities that are shown on. These are all what was submitted to the Public Space Committee. Here, the aerial is removed for a little more clarity on the site survey and property line, site layout, utilities. Next, we have demolition plan showing the removal of the Jersey barriers and the chain link fencing that's running along the west side and the north, as well as a tree and the dumpster and the existing curb modifications. Here, that demolition is shown in the elevation views. So again, the Jersey barriers and the chain link fence. Next, we have the proposed layout showing the new fence layout running around the perimeter of the site, showing the vehicular gates on L Street as well as on New York Avenue, and showing emergency egress gates at the south and north sides of the building. Here's the same view, just providing dimensions on the fence layout and distance from the property line. Next is showing the new curb cuts and the reduction of those curb cuts and the resultant dimensions. And related exterior elevation showing the new work, the proposed fence, proposed perimeter fence and gates. So for those 3D provides a little more clarity. So along the top, we're showing the demolition scope, and comparatively along the bottom, we're showing the new work layout, the proposed fence and gates. And we received some requests for information regarding distances from the curb cuts to the crosswalks. So this was not submitted, but it's something that we put together that we can follow up on submitting, showing those dimensions of this is the existing curb cuts and their distances to the crosswalks, and then comparatively the reduced curb cut dimensions and their distances to the crosswalks. And that's the end of my presentation, and I will open it up for questions.
Okay, so I have some initial questions. I'm glad you have this. This is so let's start with the fence, right? That's the easier lift. So this is the first time I've seen you guys acknowledge the national park land, which is reservation 0177. So how did that go down, that the fence is not encompassing that?
We made that
Correct?
adjustment.
That fence is cutting off right there at the parkland, right?
Yes, there's no, so that's one thing I forgot to mention. I apologize. We are increasing the sidewalk at this corner as well to continue the crosswalks across the site. And we're not building any of the new fence or proposing new fence in that alternative space that is not part of the lot that we're building up.
So
we're returning it to green space for.
So how'd that happen though? So you guys have been using that space for years.
Right now,
how'd that go down?
I think it was a result of just our discussions with DDOT.
Well, so let me just I just gotta I can't take it practically. So when I talked to the National Park Service, they were like, we don't care, whatever. So they must have cared at some point for you not to include it. So that'll be an interesting cop to reach out to the Park Service. So, but the concern is that that is not usable space now for the Department of Corrections parking or police or whatever. So that makes the lot even smaller. So this is a new configuration that we weren't shown this during the hearing. Can someone speak to this?
Also, I'd just like to
EGS?
ask, what is the difference between parking and staging? There was some comments that popped up on the thing.
Yeah,
So who
so
can speak to the Park Service part? How did that happen? And now what happens that you have less interior space?
it was
Hello?
it was not space that was utilized, so we felt giving it back to the public space made more sense than utilizing it for the site. It's not it, it's really as the property tapers there's really not any good use for that area on the site itself. So it felt better to improve the public space and give that back to the public space side rather than just circumscribing it and including it with the area for the DOC.
Okay, well, I feel it's a little bit of a story, but there it is. I'll have to reach out to the Park Service. But the concern is with the fence, because this isn't a historic area, the Mount Vernon Square historic area, that Department of General Services, last Department of Corrections needs to go before HPRB.
Correct. And we are in the process of preparing for that submission to HPO. I've been in conversations with HPO, and part of the design or where the design of the fence is now is in response to those conversations and the desire to have, the building is not historic, but it is contributing building to the Mount Vernon Historic District. And so maintaining visibility to the building itself and trying not to block it with a heavier type site wall or fence, that informed sort of this lighter wrought iron fence that we're proposing.
Okay, so according to the comments on the top site, that you haven't returned the emails or whatever they were commenting. You haven't been in communication yet with them. When was the last time you talked to them? There's comments out there that they're waiting for you to get back to them.
There's comments in this application to Public Space Commission.
Yep, from HPRB.
Right. There are HPRB comments in that submission, but we haven't received all the comments back yet. So we're waiting to receive all the comments back.
They're waiting for you too. You just read the comment from HPRB, you'll see it.
I read it from
Andrew Lewis.
Correct. And so, yes, it is our intent to work with Andrew in the design of this fence.
So in turn, then you will be returning to us.
Potentially.
They know that is my request.
Yes. That's what I presume. Okay. As we submit to HPO, we will likely have to return and have conversations with you.
Okay. Before we move on to the other public spaces, commissioners, do you have any questions about the fence? Anyone? Alex?
The questions were based on the lack of any presentation on the design of the fence, but that's been addressed in the fact that it hasn't been designed or is being redesigned. So we really are only looking at the public space implications at this point.
They'll be back.
Yeah, no, we absolutely want to see that.
Nicole.
Thank you, Commissioner Nicole. Commissioner Shea.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to understand what this fence will look like, but it sounds like we don't have any more information than what we have right now. Is that correct?
That is correct. We intend to get into the aesthetics and the details of the fence as we submit to the Historic Preservation Office. This is the conversation now, from my understanding, is related to our submission to the Public Space Committee.
But how can y'all build a fence if we don't know what it even looks like?
We
Seems a bit backwards.
Well, we have an idea what it's going to look like. We just did not include that in the submission that we provided to the Public Space Committee.
Shouldn't have been included?
We didn't.
No.
As it relates
Yes.
to the reasons for us submitting to the Public Space Committee and the approvals that were and feedback we're looking to get.
When is this going to the Public Space Committee?
The meeting we submitted the application for board meeting on August 28th.
Yeah, so this is the last time that we'll see this before the meeting.
And our comments are due by August 8th. Everyone's comments are due by August 8th. So
Possibly not, because our intent is to, get this in front of HPO as well. So.
Well, HPO doesn't meet. So.
I can show up as Commissioner Nigro, which I plan to do.
Any other questions from commissioners on this project?
So yes, I know that there were some questions that had been raised related to safety considerations, curb cuts, and where parking was going to be allowed in conjunction. And so unfortunately, I'm not able to Zoom the
I'm going to share my screen with the other because there should be an overlay. So let me tee this up, Alex, before you start. So the two curb cuts, and actually there is an initial question, and maybe you don't want to. Why are you making the curb cuts smaller?
That was suggested by DDOT in line with their current standards.
Okay. And that's fine. Let me bring up, so there's this overlay, right? And I'm going to bring up the plan from the BZA that was considered the final parking plan. And you go ahead, Alex, keep talking. Let me bring it up. Can you take down this? And I'm going to bring up that picture.
That's such a serious consideration. I mean, we're going to have so much additional traffic associated with this facility, and we need to make sure that we are that DDOT is following its own rules and not bending the rules just because this is a district government facility, and making sure that there are safe sight lines for vehicles that are entering and exiting the site so that we're not increasing hazards for pedestrians, bicyclists, and drivers. So
I want to echo that concern. It's really worrisome to me.
So Dana, let me ask you this, because I know you guys don't really want to talk about this. So these curb cuts, this is from the hearing. This is correct. So there's the 24-foot curb cut and the 12-foot curb cut, right? So this is accurate. This is what, from your transportation expert. But the problem is the way you have the little matchbox cars lined up, they're in violation of feet from the driveway and in violation of feet from the crosswalk. So these little cars, I know this is not what y'all want to talk about. The cars are a problem in public space. They simply do not fit, and you're supposed to follow regulations. And those are the two regulations that are not being followed with these new curb cuts.
I don't like me to cite it. I don't understand how the parking layout that's shown here
So you can't have with your curb cuts, these are accurate, right? There they are, right? And so with the curb cuts, when you redo them with this parking layout that they want, there are two regulations that are not followed. For the driveway, right? Either side, you have to be 5 feet from that driveway, right? I don't care if it's New York Avenue or L Street. And then with L Street, New York Avenue, with the crosswalks, one has to be, the L Street being one way has to be 25 feet from the crosswalks, and then the New York Avenue has to be 40 feet. So this, with your curb cuts, is not an accurate description of what's going to happen. It violates those two regulations.
We didn't submit a parking layout for Public Space Commission to review. We intend to follow all of the regulations and zoning code as it relates to parking on the public street.
It's not a zoning code. It's a DDOT thing. So
correct.
This is what I'm
We've been
saying.
in conversations with DDOT, and we don't intend to go against any of their requirements.
Okay, so I know you don't know enough about this, and maybe the other people are going to remain silent because they don't want to talk about this. But with this layout and with your curb cuts, the cars that the Department of Corrections wants, which includes Metropolitan Police Department, Department of Corrections, and U.S. Marshals, et cetera, will not fit. And that was the point of our part of our BZA hearing. It's
Understood.
ridiculous.
But I mean, this is diagrammatic showing design intent that hasn't
No. This was what was presented to the Board of Zoning Adjustment, and this is what they accepted as the parking plan for the Department of Corrections. This is an official presentation that they did. This is their parking plan.
Correct. But
so it's wrong.
We still have to go through the process of submitting for approvals, and anything that we submit for formal approval is not going to be in violation, even though it's part of a result of the BZA hearing. We can't submit something that is in violation of any codes or regulations.
Okay.
So it is our intent to do a parking layout, if that's needed, that would be in line with the requirements and codes that are applicable.
So when is that going to happen? Because this is official. This is what I was told was going to happen. And the Board of Zoning Adjustment believed that. Because the parking expert, because their transportation expert that our taxpayer dollars paid for, said this was correct. Maybe someone else from DGS can speak. Anyone else want to talk about this? I don't think Dana knows.
I was going to say, go ahead, Audrey.
Dana is presenting what's going for public space. He's not presenting a parking plan for DDOT.
Yeah.
And I get that, but there's going to be future problems.
But we're not arguing what the BZA already approved.
But it's wrong.
But they approved it, and when we go to deal with the parking, then we'll deal with DDOT again.
Okay, so we're going to talk about. DDOT has my opinion anyway. But anyone else who has questions from the commissioners?
Commissioner Shea.
Yeah, maybe I'm just dense, but I'm trying to track this, and I'm trying to understand how the changing size of the curb cuts, which presumably would somehow influence the parking, and it would just seem like these things should be informing each other. And it's a little frustrating to hear oh, that's already decided on, that doesn't matter. But all these things inform each other, and it seems like things are happening out of order, and it seems like it's being done in a way that's just ramrodding through stuff that if this was a Fuddruckers or something, would not be allowed to happen here.
But I'm trying to understand what your question is.
Maybe
I don't think
maybe it's more of a comment, but I'd love to hear a response. With what we see here, that there was some kind of Board of Zoning exception, and the change in the curb cuts that have been made narrower for vehicles to get in and out of the property, how do that happened apparently more recently? How do
No,
these things relate to each other?
that
And
happened as part of
why
the
are these
BCA.
things different for this facility than they would be for a facility if it was a different use? Why is the process different?
Okay, so what I will say is that this was a requirement of the BZA. DDOT made the determination that both of those curb cuts needed to be narrowed, not DGS and not anything to do with parking. DDOT made that recommendation, and we're following their recommendation.
And what was the rationale for that recommendation? To somehow try to force something into compliance that's not into compliance?
Yeah, it's their current standard, so
Thank you. Anything else, Commissioner Shea? Well,
Nah.
we'll move on to Commissioner Padro.
So I'm having a very significant problem reconciling the fact that we now have a parking plan that is not going to be implemented, that was presented to the Board of Zoning Adjustment as having been accurate and is now, and which was relied upon by the Board of Zoning Adjustment in making their determinations as to the approval of this project. And rather dismissive comments being made about, oh, we'll just, deal with it when we, apply to DDOT for the final, parking configurations. It's all interwoven. You really can't, be looking at the implications of establishing these curb cuts or adjusting these curb cuts without taking into consideration, how far away cars are going to be parked, how many cars are going to be parked here, because obviously there's clearly going to be a reduced number of parking spaces. That is indisputable. I don't think that DGS would, or the architects could make an argument that that you could maintain the number of parking spaces that are currently here with the distances that need to be applied in terms of the crosswalks and the intersections. So I'm having difficulty getting to a point where I'm comfortable voting to support these curb cuts without having the detail of actually having a site plan that shows where the parking spaces actually will be, rather than what DGS presented to the BZA as being where the parking spaces would be.
So this is Alam Al-Alami with DGS. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Good evening, commissioners. Again, there is no conflict here. If you all remember, when we all went to the BZA, we did not have any site work associated with the project. So all of the site work was a product, by the BZA. The BZA back then, they went and they got early opinions from DDOT. They got early opinions from Office of Planning, if everybody remembers. And then they want us to go back to the agencies to obtain the approvals. So again, there is no conflict here. Again, they made the approvals, and again, they want the project to go back and kind of get the appropriate permits through the process, and that's what we're doing. And by the way, we could argue that actually making the curb cut narrower, that means you could fit more cars, but that's not the case here. So if you make the curb cuts narrower, that means you have more spaces to park, not less spaces. But again, I think we'll try to jump to a conclusion here versus let the process. Again, this application was just submitted. This is for public space, And again, the process allows for comments, and this is how the commissioners got the notification from top system. So again, this is kind of, again, exactly doing what we all agreed, what we all presented during the process, and we're going through the process, and that's what the BZA sent us, to go through the process for permitting from the applicable agencies, which is DDOT in this case.
Okay, let me just make everyone
Thank you.
clear what really happened. So our lawyer argued these points for us, and unfortunately it did not work out. But we knew this was going to come. Our lawyer and myself and the committee, we knew this was going to happen. We were just waiting, right? Your transportation expert said that this plan was okay because the other corners are okay. That was your transportation expert, right? That's what he said, and there was even a slide to that point. So this is a ridiculous conversation. Y'all didn't want to get caught, and now you're caught. So, and Alex has very valid points.
Commissioner Negro, sorry, I disagree with that because again, we're not presenting a parking plan. If the commissioner again, if the commissioner like to put a comment back into the public space application to require the applicant to submit a parking plan, we can and we'll develop. That wasn't just part of the required submittal, and the parking plan would look, if not exactly like this one, would look very close to this one.
Well, no one can open their doors
So
with this parking
conclusions,
plan. I don't want to go on. This goes on. I don't want. I'm sure Commissioner McCarty's like, we got to stop this. Okay.
Commissioner Nigro, do you have a motion on behalf of the commission and their comment that we should submit to HPO?
Well, wait a minute. Is any members of the public have a comment? Maybe we should ask that. Anyone here?
Yeah. Any members of the public, if you have any question, comment, concerns, again, this is related to the HPO submission for the reduction of the curb cuts.
And the fence.
And the installation of a fence at 501 New York Avenue. Warren.
Sorry, Commissioner. Again, this is exactly what the purpose of this particular submittal. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, seeing no hands raised, Commissioner Nigro, I'll give you the floor.
Okay, I'm going to read it. And so let me explain what's going to happen. So electronically, as single member district Commissioner Nigro, I will put in an opinion, and then Commissioner McCarty as chair, he will electronically put in an opinion, and it goes send, and that's how everyone reads these comments. So it's an electronic thing. Okay. I move that ANC 2G not support and not approve the Department of General Services Public Space Construction Permit application for 501 New York Avenue Northwest, the central cell block facility for the Department of Corrections. The proposal includes modifying curb cuts on New York Avenue and L Street Northwest and installing new fencing. Reasons for opposition: safety and scope concerns. The expanded curb access and surrounding parking will affect public space functionality and pedestrian safety. Safety is key with this. The proposed parking layout violates 18 DCMR 2405.2C, which prohibits vehicles standing and parking within 40 feet of intersecting curb lines and 25 feet on the far side of a one-way street. The design presents safety risks for pedestrians near the intersections of 5th Street and L Street Northwest, 5th Street and New York Avenue Northwest, 6th Street and L Street Northwest, 6th Street and New York Avenue Northwest. The parking layout also appears to violate 18 DCMR 2405.2C concerning driveways, which prohibits parking within 5 feet of public or private driveways and alleys. A broader site-wide review by DDOT is necessary to assess the overall impact on public safety and public space. Historic preservation consideration. The fencing should be reviewed by the Historic Preservation Review Board, as 501 New York Avenue Northwest lies within the Mount Vernon Square Historic District, and the impact on neighborhood character and preservation standards requires formal evaluation. ANC 2G will communicate this position to the Public Space Committee.
Seconded.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any further discussion by commissioners? Seeing none, all those in favor respond with aye, raising your hand.
Aye.
That motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Dana. Thank you, DGS. Thank you for being here.
See you soon.
You have a good evening.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you all. Good night.
Next up on our agenda is going to be is the request for neighborhood beautification funds. This is Commissioner Garrett. I know you sent some information to the commissioners, so please feel free to tee us back up and let us know more about your request.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair McCarty. Yes, so I am submitting a request for neighborhood beautification for the Duke Ellington Plaza. That's at 618 T Street. In regards to the beautification of the landscaping that is in disrepair for the last 7, 8 months. Well, no, not 7, 8 months, 6 months. I've been in communication with all district agencies, try to find who is responsible for the upkeep, the responsibility of planting the plants, and I've gotten nowhere. I then went to the apartment complex to see if they were responsible based upon DDOT stating that they are only responsible for the plaza statute and the surrounding benches, the concrete benches, and the adjacent property, which is the Shaw Apartments, is responsible for the upkeep of the landscaping. When sharing these concerns with the apartment complex, they did inform me through management changes, um, they dropped the ball. And that they are only responsible for the upkeep, not the planting. And since they have hired this new management company to take over. They have restarted the upkeep, monthly upkeep of the landscaping, but there's nothing there for them to upkeep. So they're only at this point pulling weeds out of the empty beds, or some of the beds have bushes in them that are just need to be taken out. It's become a place where dogs have started using the bathroom. And I am asking the commission to generously pay for the planting of the redo the planting of the landscaping, with the responsibility being to the apartment complex. I've spoke with them today. They have committed with the I went out and got three proposals. One of the proposals, which we are going with tonight, is with the landscaping company that is currently doing the maintenance, which makes most sense because they're already out here on a monthly basis and currently in a contract with the apartment complex that will continue to do the maintenance once the plants have been replanted. This will also be a community project where I will host a community project with 2G01 or 2G residents, where we will replant the bushes with the landscaping company. They've agreed to teach us how to plant them, teach us how to mulch them, teach us how to treat them. And also, this will be like the responsibility of more so giving care back to the community, as this is a historical landmark in the Shaw neighborhood and also heavily visited by tourists and on the tours through the Shaw neighborhood. So I've been working on this for the last couple of months. And this is the last solution I have to restore the dignity and the pride of this plaza. And I am asking for the 2G commissioners to approve the request for the funds to replant in the amount of 59. Let's see, let me get the correct amount. The total will be 5866, which will include 50 plants, remulching, leaf growth, soil amendment, and then labor, which will count for the landscaper personnel who will be there teaching us. And these plants that I did choose will be year-round plants. They will also deter animals from using the bathroom there. They're moderate plants that are able to withstand the heat, with only moderate to low watering as well, so that kind of cancels out them dying, and they're year round as well. But also, again, the same landscaping company that provided this proposal is already doing monthly maintenance on the current beds that are in this plaza. And
Thank
that's
you,
all.
Commissioner Garrett. Any questions from commissioners, please raise your hand. Commissioner Nigro?
So when would this take place? Because of in terms of the planting, Howard?
So
Because it's kind of
I
a bad
discussed
time out of.
Yeah, I discussed that with the landscaping because I was concerned regarding the heat. But he assured me due with the time it would probably be around mid-August sometime. Mid-August, early September, once the financing, we got to do the stuff with their company wise. But he also assured me that because of the type of plants that they're able to withstand the heat. So we won't have to worry about the heat being a factor when planting these plants because the bushes are moderate to low watering schedules. But it would probably be once we get everything finalized, the business and all of the paperwork for the money wise, we have to deal with that. It will probably be end of August, early September.
I'm gonna flash the budget real quick. We all keep.
Okay. There's another question. Commissioner Shea?
Sorry, I had to go on mute. Sorry, Stephen, did you want to say something?
Well, Commissioner Nigro, was there something you wanted to share about the budget that you were
Well, she
pulling
was
up?
showing it. I just didn't know how long it was going to take her to take it up. I was just trying to.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
saying like because this where the money because you said $5,800.
Yes, the total would be 586604.
So it would come from what we call other.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner Nigro. Commissioner
Sorry,
Padro, or
yeah, no, go ahead, Commissioner Padro.
So thank you, Commissioner, for all the hard work that you put in on this. So I was the author of the legislation that the council approved and Mayor Williams signed to name the plaza for Edward Kennedy Duke Ellington. When this was originally in ANC 2C's jurisdiction. And I also was a member of the panel that selected the design, both sculpture and for the overall plaza, which was implemented by DDOT. And I raised at the time, the issue of planting with the developer, which was Monument Realty, and they were very dismissive of the future costs involved in maintaining the green space here. They actually had proposed a $5,000 grant to Shaw Main Streets to maintain this landscaping in perpetuity, which was rejected. So that was why the developer retained the responsibility for maintaining the landscaping. Of course, now the property has changed hands several times, and as a result, we find ourselves in the situation that we do of having to take on what should have been the developer's responsibility to replace plants when they naturally, died. And so nonetheless, we are where we are, and so the considerations are, number one, what is a warranty on the plants that are proposed to be installed, Commissioner? Is that in the contract?
Yes, it's a 1-year warranty.
Okay, so we since you live right there in front of the plaza, we're going to count on you to watch to make sure that if there are any plants that need to be replaced before that warranty expires, that it does, because unfortunately, folks have a tendency not to realize that the clock is ticking, and then only realize that the plants need to be replaced after the warranty is expired. So let's make sure that before that that warranty expires, that we do in fact get any plants that need to be replaced replaced. The species that have been selected are apparently going to be sufficient to withstand the climatic challenges of the site, but I do still have a concern about planting before September. So, in my experience, regardless of what you plant, it's not going to be very able to withstand heat. We still have some significant high temperatures going into September, but September should be the earliest that we consider the planting taking place. But I do support the expenditure and hope that we have many years of successful landscaping and maintenance as a result of our public investment, where the private investment is lacking. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Shea?
Thank you. Thanks for the presentation, Howard. I agree that this area needs to be beautified and the landscaping needs to happen, but I am concerned by the idea of ANC 2G footing the bill, at least right now. And I know you've done a ton of work on this, but I'm just going to share a couple of thoughts. But one of them is, would you consider shelving this until the September meeting and bringing in the Transportation and Public Space Committee. And, you know, I'd like to see if I can help with trying to figure out if we can get, if there's any opportunities for grants to pay for this from somewhere else. And also, and I think this is tapping into a frustration that I'm having with what I'm seeing, which is a lot of different city offices kind of like not stepping up or taking ownership somewhere. And I'm worried about us footing the bill for this if there are other ways that we can do it. And then just as like, you know, a woman of a certain age who's been getting more and more into gardening and landscaping, I would not feel great about stuff getting planted in August. I think like, especially for a bunch of bushes and stuff, like end of September, October is probably better for that. So I don't know if that's something that you might be interested in, if we could just give ourselves a little bit of time and see if we might be able to figure out a way, if there's a grant or something for the, I see it as significant funds to come out of our budget. And I'm just worried with like across the city that we're seeing so much stuff getting clawed back. I would just
I
like a
don't
little more time to think about it.
I don't mind holding the planting until September, October. I don't have an issue with that. I will politely decline your request on waiting until September. I That was another route that I did explore was grants with landscaping companies or organizations, nonprofits who provided these services. However, there's only a few in the city, and they're more so focused on areas within the city, like Capitol Hill or Eastern Market. There was not one that was focused on the Shaw neighborhood, and I did have one of the first people that I reached out to. Actually, it was called Guerrilla Landscaping or something. They were focused on Capitol Hill, and when I went to them, they came out, they toured it, they were a-okay with it. We were with the grants, we were going to have to figure out how to raise the money for it, for them to do it because they didn't have the funding. It would be more so community pitching in to do it. And then when I present them idea of trying to apply for the grant because they were the only one that would come out here. I called the gentleman who was over it, and he said that they're no longer in business. So they were one of the first people that I reached out to or explored options was to find grants or nonprofits to do this because I didn't want to come here and foot the bill. I have explored everything within the last since February in trying to figure out how to pay for this. So that's why I will politely
And, but you haven't done it through the Transportation and Public Space Committee, right?
We don't have that.
We do it. I think it's been pretty inactive, but we have the committee chair, Katie Bees or Katie Buys. Is that right, Stephen? Am I getting her name right?
Yeah, we do, Commissioner Garrett. They usually only handle DDOT because we haven't had a public space
Okay.
opportunity like this come up. So you might have just thought that they only review DDOT permits, but they would review this and I guess a sense as well.
Okay, but also want to be mindful that the landscaping is not the responsibility of the city, is the responsibility of the apartment complexes, is of the apartment complex. The
Yeah,
city,
which is another question because I know when you and I had talked about this, was that yesterday or the day
that
before?
was this morning. Yes.
Was it this morning? I thought it was this week for sure. That there was also with the changing of the hands of the apartment management that there was one company that didn't do anything, and that's when a lot of the kind of state of disrepair happened. And I just would like a little bit more time and to see if, you know, with the stubbornness of the, you know, more than just you, like it, you know, it takes a village, and if we can see if we can figure out another way. And I would like to put forth a motion to see if we could shelve this until the September meeting, the next meeting. And I'd also
What would be the goal of this, the transportation? Like, what are we asking them to do? Because from what
well,
I'm is
I
they're just
think
going to prolong it past September, October, November, because we're going to have to explore more options, and it's just going to prolong this process. So what is the goal of asking the committee to do with this public space?
Well, I think we have committees, and I think we should do stuff through the appropriate committees. I also think that there are a lot of areas of concern in 2G, and that maybe we should be looking at this holistically when we're making the decision about this specific space, and that we're considering the other spaces in the city. And I also would just like more time to see if we might be able to figure something out that isn't, 6,000 of 20,000 of our budget for this for the remainder of the year. And I would like to put forward a motion to floor this until the next meeting.
Thank you, Commissioner Shea. So you are motioning to table this until the September meeting. The motion is on the floor. Do I have a second in favor of tabling this until the September meeting? Seeing no second, that motion fails. Is there any further discussion from commissioners on this topic? Commissioner Nigro?
So Howard, is this a one and done from us then? This isn't
Yes,
going to
it's
be
a
like an
one.
annual
This is a
request or
one.
something
No,
like that.
this is a one and done. This is a one and done.
Any other questions? Commissioner Shea, is that a new? No, not a new hand. Commissioner Padro?
Not a new hand.
Not a question, just an observation. In a different development environment, we could ask a developer to undertake the cost of the planning as a community amenity if there was a planned unit development that was involved with the project. But since everything is at a standstill, that's not an option. So in the past, I would have gone to one of the developers that were actively pursuing projects in our neighborhood and saying like, hey, we need you to adopt this park, and please provide this $5,000 that are needed for plants. But that's right now that's not an option. So that's why I am supporting Commissioner Garrett's effort to use the commission's funds to undertake this. And my understanding is that the Office of ANC has greenlit this. Is that correct, Commissioner Garrett?
Yes, sir. They were the ones that gave me the recommendation to go this route versus us applying for a grant. They recommended this route.
Thank you.
Commissioner Barry, did you still have a question? Okay. Commissioner, oh, sorry. Thank you. Commissioner Garrett, do you have a motion you'd like to make?
Yes, I would like to make the motion for Commission 2G to approve the beautification project at the Duke Ellington Plaza at 618 T Street for the amount of $5866.04 just for the planting of the landscaping at the plaza.
Seconded.
Motion has been made by Commissioner Garrett, seconded by Commissioner Padro. Is there any further question or discussion from commissioners? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by raising your hand and responding with aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed?
Opposed, but respectfully, and I really appreciate all your work on this, Howard.
Thank you.
The motion passes 5-1. Thank you, Commissioner Garrett. Next up on our agenda is and we have two resolutions. Commissioner Shea, I'm not sure what the first one is on your agenda.
Oh, sorry. Hold on one moment, please.
But if you could drop the link in the chat as well.
I'm dropping this in. It's a resolution calling for the implementation of Initiative 83. And that's it that I'm seeing.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so thank you, Commissioner Shea. So next up, we have a resolution calling on for the implementation of Initiative I-83. If you are unaware of what I-83 is and what it does, it's an initiative passed in November 2024 by DC residents in all 8 wards, opening up, semi-opening up party primaries and offering ranked choice voting in DC elections. This was requested that our commission support by a handful of my constituents. One of them you all may be familiar with, but our Senator Ankit Jain also reached out and asked that we consider making a resolution asking the council to fund the initiative. Of course, the initiative was already approved overwhelmingly by a majority of voters, a large majority of voters in our ward and ANC as well. So this resolution is simply calling for council to fund that and implement the will of the voters. Does anyone have any questions or comments? Please raise your hands. Commissioner Padra.
So I'm actually not going to support this resolution. I have, heard from many constituents that they are very confused about the issue of ranked choice voting and think that it actually would be a disincentive to people to vote. It's hard enough to get people to come out and vote if they don't understand how their votes are going to be counted and that their votes will not be counted in the traditional manner. That could be a disincentive for them, for people to be voting. Also, there's no inclusion in this resolution of what the costs involved are. So, what would the cost of implementing the measure be? So those are the reasons that I won't be supporting it.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Nigro.
So I concur with Alex. It's okay, but here's the thing. I am, and I certainly haven't surveyed my constituents about it, but I can tell you that, as Alex said, people are confused. That there's the bottom line. They don't understand it, and I think that's it's they just don't get it. So, and it's hard, and no one has really explained it well. So, but there it is.
Thank you, Commissioner Nigro. Any other questions, comments, or things from our commissioners? Seeing none, we do have a couple of hands raised on the public side. So, of course, we do have our Senator Ankit Jain. I'm going to give you speaking permissions so you can unmute yourself.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hi, everybody. Good to be on the call with you. As Stephen mentioned, my name is Ankit Jain. I am our senator for DC, our non-voting senator, one of two. For those who don't know, we don't have any voting representatives in Congress, so the DC government has created two non-voting representatives, two non-voting senators, one non-voting congressman, to be our elected advocates for DC home rule and DC statehood. And so that's my role. I also happen to be a proud resident constituent of ANC 2G and proud constituent of Commissioner McCarty. So I'm always glad to be on these meetings, and I'm glad you all are considering this. So I just want to talk, I can quickly answer the question from Commissioner Padro about how much does this actually cost, and then I can just talk a little bit about why I think this is a useful resolution and why I support it. So it costs $1.4 million over the next 4 years. That is if you average that out, that's $375,000 per year. DC has an annual budget of $12 billion a year. So that $375,000 a year is 0.003% of DC's annual budget. So in terms of like the cost, this is not a serious question, right? We can find the funding for implementing this. The question is the political will, not is the money there. The money is definitely there. I can just quickly talk a little bit about why I think it's important for home rule that Initiative 83 be funded. So I, in my role as shadow senator, after Initiative 83 was approved, like any law that DC passes, has to go through a congressional review period in which Congress has the opportunity to veto it before it actually goes into law. And so that happened, and I was very involved in that process of making sure Congress did not veto Initiative 83. And I'm happy to report that it did pass through that process unscathed. It's now officially DC law, but it cannot be implemented if it's not funded. And so that leads us to where we are right now, which is council consideration of whether to fund and implement it. So as Commissioner McCarty mentioned, it won with 73% of the votes citywide, across, it won every single ward. It specifically received 75% of the vote in Ward 2. All of that is to say that it was not a close election, right? DC residents overwhelmingly supported this bill. And I would respectfully disagree with Commissioner Nigro that people are confused about this. I think that the voters of DC knew exactly what they wanted, and they voted overwhelmingly in favor of Initiative 83. I don't think that, I give the voters a lot of credit. I think that they're smart and they can figure out for themselves whether they support or oppose a ballot initiative. And it's not, a lot of issues people can debate, like how much support does XYZ issue have in DC? This one was actually put to a vote, and it got 73% of the vote and 75% in Ward 2. So I don't think it's an open question whether people support it or not in Ward 2 or in ANC 2G. They made their voices pretty loud and clear that yes, they do support it. With all that said, why should the council fund this now? Why is this important to home rule? I would say that we support statehood in the district because we want the will of the people of DC to be respected. If the council chooses to ignore the will of the people and not fund Initiative 83, what will I tell members of Congress who will ask us how I can demand that they respect the will of the people of DC when our very own council refuses to do the same thing? So I would say whether or not you support the initiative, it's not about that. It's about ensuring that the will of the people is respected and that the council funds something that the voters want. Last thing I'll say is, why is it important for this resolution to be passed, for this ANC to pass this resolution? As I mentioned, Ward 2 voted overwhelmingly in favor of Initiative 83, and our council member, Brooke Pinto, I know she's actively making up her mind on how to vote on this issue. And I think it's important for her to know that her constituents desperately want her to fund Initiative 83. Councilmember Pinto will be a key vote on this funding question. And so I think this is actually a very important resolution so that she knows what direction her constituents and the people in her ward are going to help her make the right decision and vote in favor of the people and funding Initiative 83. So I hope that we can pass this resolution to give Councilmember Pinto the political support she needs to do the right thing along with the other council members, and which is to make DC's election system the best in the nation and to allow the council to uphold the views of their constituents. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator. Commissioner Nigro, I see your hand raised. We have one more ahead of you. So
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, let me call on Warren really quick. Warren, you can come off mute.
Hi, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, I'm currently traveling, but I want to hop on tonight's meeting because this really means a lot to me. I am a resident of 2G01, and I just wanted to urge you to also support this resolution. Like Ankit said, this was passed overwhelmingly by DC, and I think it's super important that a majority of voters, a candidate wins by getting a majority of voters, and that's what ranked choice voting hopefully does. And we've seen it successfully used in New York City, Arlington, right across the river. It's used statewide in Alaska and Maine. And I do think that it's super important that this does get fully funded. And I think it's important to send that message to Councilwoman Pinto. And I please urge you all to support this. Thank you.
Thank you, Warren. Okay, Commissioner Nigro.
So this reminds me of the tipping service charge initiative. What I can't remember the number of that was. That everyone supported, and it was all good until it wasn't. And people were confused about that, and now many people don't want it. So the conversation reminded me of that everyone supported that by a vote, and now that is, not supported by a lot of people. So because they finally understood it.
Thank you, Commissioner Nigro. Are there any other questions or comments from other commissioners or from the public? Commissioner Nigro, is that just okay? Thank you. Commissioner Barry.
Right. So, we keep saying that it's confusing and the public doesn't understand it. Is there anyone who would like to explain it? My understanding is that it allows independent voters to have a say-so in our primaries. And I think that's the basics of the initiative. Is there something else that is convoluting why we would not want to support this? That maybe we haven't considered that would stop people from wanting to support it? Is against it. It's a question, so.
Thank you, Commissioner Barry. Senator Jane also has his hand up, and I believe he can probably also answer your question.
Okay.
So, Senator Jane, if you want to unmute, I
Yeah.
think you would also do a better job at explaining the ranked
Sorry, I'm on
choice
the phone right
voting
now.
Send me
piece.
some pictures of you and
Yeah, we'll do. Okay. Sorry, I'm out and about, but I'm here. Yeah, I'm happy to answer this question. So the initiative would, as you mentioned, Commissioner Barry, it would allow independents to vote in party primaries. I just want to clarify that doesn't mean that people who are registered for one party can vote in the other party's primary. Only independents can vote in the party primary of their choosing. And the second thing it would do would implement ranked choice voting. Ranked choice voting is a better way to run elections. The current system, you pick one person and someone can win with a plurality of the vote. In the Ward 7 primary that just happened, Democratic primary, Councilmember Felder, who's doing a great job, but he won with 23% of the vote. With ranked choice voting, you have to get a majority to win. Instead of picking just one, you can rank your favorite candidates 1 through 5. Your favorite candidate first, your second favorite candidate second, your third favorite candidate third, and so on. And you count up the votes whenever everyone votes. If no one gets a majority, the person in last place is eliminated, and their vote goes to their second choice. Anyone who voted for that person, their vote goes to their second choice. And you keep on doing that, eliminating and transferring until someone gets a majority of the vote. It's sometimes called instant runoff voting. It's basically a runoff. It just happens all at once. What it really is about is that you have to get a majority of the vote to win. I think that's common sense. To win an election, you should get the support from the majority of the public. It's being used by many cities and a few states around the country. And to the point of would it reduce turnout? That is, I know that people don't like to talk about data in politics, but I think it is important to look at the data. This is a question that can be answered. People have studied the question, and the answer is no, it does not reduce turnout. There's a lot of studies that have looked at this effect. It's possible it actually increases turnout because New York City does it. Since New York City implemented it, they've had 2 mayoral elections, which have been 2 of the highest turnout mayoral elections in the history of the city. And so I do believe that rather than reducing turnout, what it does is it allows candidates to campaign in a way that's more positive rather than negative. You can say, hey, rank me second, but you can rank someone else. If you're ranking someone else first, rank me second. You're creating coalitions with each other rather than tearing each other down. And that's a way to bring people out by having a positive vision for society. And I think you saw that in New York City in the last election.
Thank you, Senator. Commissioner Barry, anything else?
No, thank you. I think that was a great explanation, and that allows people at the meeting, the public, to hear a great explanation of what Initiative 83 is.
Any other further questions, comments, or additions from commissioners? Okay, seeing none, I motion that Advisory Neighborhood Commission 2G support this resolution calling for the implementation of Initiative 83, and that we send it to Councilmember Brooke Pinto, Chairman of the DC Council, and the entire Council of the District of Columbia.
I'll second that motion.
Motion has been seconded by Commissioner Garrett. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye and raising your hand. Aye. All those opposed?
Nay.
Any abstentions?
Abstaining.
Abstaining.
Okay. So the motion does pass with 3 yeses, 2 abstentions, and 1 no vote. Thank you. We have a few more things to wrap up. Commissioner Garrett, I know you have a resolution. I don't know if you've got that pulled up and if you can share your screen, but I'll give the floor to you to bring up that topic about renaming of Harmony Park.
Okay, one second. Can you see my screen?
We cannot, not yet.
a second. Here we go. What about now?
We're good.
We see it.
Okay, perfect. So I am asking okay, for the commission to um vote in favor for this resolution. This resolution recommends naming the newly created park space located at the triangle between Florida Avenue Northwest, Rhode Island Avenue Northwest, and New Jersey Avenue Northwest as Harmony Park in honor of the Colombian Harmony Society. This organization was founded by free black men in 1825, provided burial services and support to the black community at a time when they were excluded from white cemeteries. The original Harmonian Cemetery, established in 1829 by the Society, was located 1 block west of this park at Square 475. This effort is deeply tied to our ANC as a 2022 resolution passed jointly by ANC 6E and ANC 2G supported installing commemorative markers honoring the cemetery's legacy, and which those markers will be placed within 2G01. So I'm asking that we support rename the park that was a part of the S Street revitalization, which is in 1B01. But this is all a part of the effort of the commemorative markers that will be placed in our ANC 2G01 because they border each other.
Thank you, Commissioner Garrett. Any commissioners have questions? Commissioner Padra?
Not a question, but wanted to express support for the resolution. Shore Main Streets with funding from the Humanities Council of Washington, D.C. Several years ago, conducted extensive research on the Harmonian, which, as Commissioner Garrett indicated, is the Straw's Lost African American Cemetery, located on the block bordered by S Street, Florida Avenue, 5th Street, and 6th Street, where it is believed that there are still interments that are present, although they are unmarked. Um, this site is one of many across the country that have been desecrated over the years, and those ancestors have been disrespected. And the naming of the new park that was created through the S Street Revitalization Project, Harmony, in reference to the Harmonian, which was created by the Colombian Harmony Society, would be a positive step towards reconciliation and respecting those ancestors that may still be present in our community, except they cannot be seen.
Thank you, Commissioner Padro. I wholeheartedly agree. Commissioner Shea, anything to add?
Yeah, I just have a question. It's not currently named anything, right?
Yes, the park currently has no name.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other commissioner points of discussion? Seeing none, Commissioner Garrett, would you like to make a motion?
Yes, I would like to make a motion that Commission 2G support the resolution in support of naming the unmarked plaza to naming it Harmony Park. In reference to the Harmonious Cemetery, which was at the corner of Florida Avenue, New Jersey Avenue, and S Street.
A couple of friendly amendments. So the cemetery was not at New Jersey Avenue, but was at 5th. So 5th,
Yes, you're right.
Fixed. And you said the unnamed plaza, it's the unnamed park. And if those are acceptable to you, I will second the motion.
Yes, accepted.
Might we want to consider a friendly amendment just to specifically include the address, the 400 block of Florida Avenue Northwest, Square 507, just to be clear?
Accepted.
Thank you. Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye, raising your hand.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That motion passes unanimously. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
We have two more things. Commissioner Nigro, if you could get the QFR ready, but I actually had a resolution that fell off. I emailed this out to everybody, so I'm sorry. I did not make it on the online version, but I did want to propose a resolution supporting some really serious ongoing issues in the Colonel apartment building in ANC 2G04, located on 9th Street Northwest. So if commissioners would oblige and allow me to present that to you all, I would be very grateful.
Accepted.
Thank you. So
Wait, what
that,
just happened? I'm sorry. I was looking at my share
yeah,
things.
so I just have one quick resolution that I did not have published, unfortunately, in the agenda, but I sent it out to y'all last week. So I just didn't get it linked up. But let me go ahead and share my screen. So uh, as you may recall from my email last week, there have been some serious ongoing concerns of negligent management at the Colonel at 1250 9th Street Northwest in ANC 2G04. I've honestly been engaged in a few different capacities with the Colonel, dating back to 2022, in fact, when I first heard complaints about management and the building maintenance. But over the past 4 months since March, things have gotten really worse, and I've had a handful of constituents reach out to me expressing grave concerns. We've coordinated with the Department of Buildings, as well as Ty and the Mayor's Office, as well as the Office of Tenants Advocate, to see if there's anything that we can do to help provide better, more suitable living conditions for the tenants in this building. But unfortunately, things have not progressed in any meaningful way, which is really disappointing considering the amount of government agencies we've tapped in to help solve this issue. The Department of Buildings did come out in March and find 3 violations of about $10,000 in fines for the building. As of 2 weeks ago, when we checked back in, they still have not been fixed. And these issues are wide ranging from inoperable elevators to unsecured doors, the front door and back door. That was actually part of one of the DOB violations that they found. There have been reports of squatters, damaged cars in the parking garage due to leaking pipes, rusting car roofs, and appliance damage, as well as windows and doors to the exterior of the building not closing fully. And then just a few weeks ago, during the heat wave, the first one in June, the AC was out for a lot of residents as well. So unfortunately, there are at least 20 residents who have connected and said enough is enough. We really need help. And our government has not really given it to them. So I've already had 2 people break their lease. So, and in reality, we're starting to actually lose constituents from ANC 2G to GO4. And this resolution simply asks that the Office of the Attorney General step in, figure out what is happening with Borger management and with the Colonel, and why these issues are not being addressed between these agencies in a reasonable amount of time to provide for better living conditions for these residents. Any questions? Well, then I would motion that ANC 2G support this resolution requesting the Office of Attorney General investigate Borger Management's negligence at the Colonel located at 1250 9th Street Northwest, Washington, D.C., and that they work with the Department of Buildings, Office of the Tenants Advocate, and any other relevant district agencies to ensure timely corrective measures and accountability.
Seconded.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye and raising your hand. Aye. Any opposed? Yeah. Commissioner Shea's dog.
I was just gonna say it's the whole house.
Thank you so much. The motion passes unanimously. Commissioner Nigro, I'm going to give you the screen so we can recertify that QFR. And then I think we're done. Or close to it.
Okay, so this is actually was corrected by the Office of the Advised Neighbor Commission. So they sent this back to me. This is way back in December. So this is the corrected version, and the two corrections were that check 1082 that was done on December 12th, 2024. Karen Yaley was for $275. And then there was one of the categories were in category 7, the original version records the amount of $825, but the corrected version lists the amount as $1,100. There you go. So this is the and so they did this. There was nothing I did. So they just sent this to me, and then we have to just motion to reapprove it. So I move that ANC 2G reapprove the quarterly financial report for fiscal year 25 Q1 with these two corrections: that check 1082 to Karen Yaley from December 12th, 2024 was $275. And that in category code 7, the amount that was listed as $825, the corrected version lists the amount as $1,100.
Seconded.
Okay.
A motion made by Commissioner Nigro, seconded by Commissioner Quadro. Any further discussion or questions about the QFR corrections? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye and raising your hand.
Aye.
Aye. The motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Commissioner Nigro.
We'll sign it. We have to sign it too. Whatever that happens.
We will sign it.
Yes, I will. I'm going on record saying I will sign it.
Well, last but not least, we have our brief information agenda. Just a friendly reminder, we try to take a recess with the council recess. So we are going to not have a scheduled advisory neighborhood commission in August. So please enjoy your August recess. But no, of course, all of your commissioners are still around. Please don't hesitate to reach out to any of us if there's anything you need in the meantime, even though we won't be doing any formal business between now and September. And with that said, our next meeting is going to be on Thursday, September 11th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. So we will see you in about 2 months. Is there any other comments, questions, or thoughts any commissioners would like to raise for the good of the group? Or do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Seconded.
Motion to adjourn. All those in favor respond with aye and signify and raise your hand.
Aye. Aye.
Motion passes. We'll adjourn at 8:53 p.m. on Thursday, July 10th. Thank you for another great meeting of Advisory Neighborhood Commission 2G. Have a great weekend. Stay safe in the heat, everybody, and we'll see you in September.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, and have a great evening.
Bye.
Bye-bye.